Hi, everyone. It's good to see everybody here. This is Michelle from Michelle's Craft Cottage, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And I have been doing Mystery Card Monday for 91 weeks. Can you believe that? 91 weeks. I've been loosely thinking about what I could do for number 100. If anybody has any ideas, let me know. Hi, Tony. Thank you, Tony, for sharing. If anybody has any suggestions on what I could do for when I get to number 100, how can I make that special? Back from CA and ready to roll now. California, you've been all over the place. Yeah. Well, you went to Stampin' Up's convention, right? Yeah, I'm glad you're back. I missed you. Hi, Vesta. Good to see you. Are you feeling a little better? I hope so. Tony and Vesta, you going to follow along with me, or are you going to wait and make it after? So let's get going. So I asked you to cut a card base at 4 1/8 by 5 1/4. Another one at 4 1/4 and 6 1/4, and then score that at down from PA to California to PA. Saw Vesta on my trip. Good for you. Yes, following. Good. So score that piece at 3 1/8, which is in half. You need basic white or very vanilla, 1/4 inch by 4 1/4. Another piece at 3 inches by 4 1/8. Excuse me, and a third one at 7/8 by 4. Liquid glue and dimensionals, stamp set for your sentiments and greetings, dies to cut images no larger than 2.5 by 3.5. Coordinating inks, ribbon if you desire. I'm not putting a ribbon on mine, but I can see it being really cute on some. Got my stuff ready, good. Coordinating embellishments, a 7/8 or a 1 inch punch, or if you have a die, I'll wait for you to die cut that, because we're going to notch the card, okay? Scoreboard or cut and score machine, because we're going to score a few things. I didn't want to have you score it before, because sometimes it's not easy to explain. So I just figured we'll wait. And then you need a corner rounder. If you don't have a corner rounder, you can take a coin and trace around the coin and then just cut it to make your corners round. Okay? Hint, it's a fun fold. What else do I do? I have made too many cards for this set. I love it. Yeah. I love this. I love this set. And I was going to use something different. Actually, my prototype was going to be an Easter card, but I couldn't find some current Easter stuff that I had. So I said, okay, so I made it. I finished it, not an Easter card. And then I said, what could I do? So I decided on the sweet bugs. So I'm actually only using the saying, spread joy. I'm using the DSP mostly. Okay? So I'm going to put this aside. And number 1 says, I use the same form each week, and it said burnish all pieces. And then after I was looking at it, I said, no, we only have 1 piece. So this is going to become your book. Okay, so this was the 6 1/4. So you scored it at 3 1/8. So now you want to score that. Make sure you're lined up. Okay, so let's score that. Right now, it's the only piece we have to score. Burnish. Okay, so let's set that aside for now. And then number 2 says, hi, Nancy. I was just thinking about you today. Thought I hadn't seen you in a while coming to my lives. Margaret's here. I have made, Margaret's the one who said that. I've made too many cards with this set. I love it. Okay, number 2 says, let's score. So get your scoreboard or your cut and score machine, this one. And we're going to take the 4 1/8 by 5 1/4. That's your base card. That's your biggest piece. And we're going to score it at 7/8. So that's the big line just before 1. I'm going to score it at 7/8 and 1 1/8. So that gives us about a 1/4 inch in between. Okay. Okay. So that's what we have. Okay. Then it says take the 7/8 by 4, which is this one, 4 inches by 7/8, and you're going to score it every 1/8 of an inch. You'll get about 6 of them. Okay. So start at the first 1/8. I like to work on this side, so I'm going to do it on this side because then I can hold it here. So make sure you're straight. Make your first, then move it over 1/8. If you need a piece of tape to keep it straight, that's fine too. Okay, then we're going to move it over another 1/8. Make sure it's straight. And we'll move it to half. And we'll make it 5/8. And then we'll do 3/4. And that should be our 6. And get that straight. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, you can see it better on that side. Okay. Okay, so I don't think we need this again, but let's not put it too far away. Jean's here. Just got here, so I'll catch up. Buffering on and off. Mine is buffering. We have overcast skies here, so I would not be surprised if we're buffering. Okay, so this is the end of number 2. Number 3 says center and adhere that 1/4 strip that we cut by 4 to this card in between those score lines. Okay. Now I want you to know I've seen this card. When we're done, you're going to recognize it. I've seen this card done, or seen this card so many times. I keep saying, I should look that up, see how that's made. And then this month, on my blog hop, one of the people who participates, Lisa Ann, I think it's Lisa Ann, she did it. And she gave all the directions and did a video on it as well. So I said, well, I'm in luck because that's what I'm going to do. Would I put my wet? So I followed her. I slightly changed it, slightly altered it, but it's pretty much the same. So you'll recognize it when it's done. Okay, center and adhere that between the score lines. That's the end of number 3. I'm the right way this week, right? I'm not upside down. You guys should have told me last week that I was upside down. I didn't notice it till I went to put it on YouTube, and I was like, "Oh my God, it's upside down!" Did the whole thing upside down. Okay, round the corners. So I've got my corner rounder, and we're going to do the top left, right, excuse me, top left, top right, and bottom left on this card. Okay. And then you're going to round the corners on the front and back top of the little book that we scored. That we burnished. Okay. If your thing will do it both together, go ahead. If not, do each page separate. So you just want the top right rounded. Didn't do it so good over here, so let me redo it. These things can be so finicky when they want to be. Okay. Okay. Then it says round the two corners of the white 7/8 by 4, only on the left. So we're just going to do this corner and this corner. Okay. Hi, Marilyn. Okay. So we'll do that corner. Did it again. There it is. Okay, so just on the left side. You'll see why in a little bit. Okay, so we got our corners all done. That's the end of number 4. So it says, center and adhere the book along the white strip score line. Okay, so you're going to put it right against that white line. This is what I did different from others. Okay, and be sure that it's right along the top. Now it's going to hang over about 1/8 of an inch. Okay, that is okay. You want that so that you can have something to grab onto to open it. All right, so we're going to center and adhere this along that score line and white strip, and even with the top. Okay, so this one I'm going to do the way you guys do it. I'm just going to put this on. There's no way I can fold that over enough to do it. Okay, put a decent amount of glue on it because it's going to get handled a lot. Okay, so I'm going to take it and put it on that line. Line that up and make sure I'm flush with the top. Okay, so see how it's right along my score line and the edge of that white. Okay, and I'm level with the top here. Okay, so we can open that up and burnish it. Make sure we get a good adherence. Okay. And of course I have glue everywhere. My glue eraser has gotten more work out lately than I want to admit. Thank God for glue erasers. I'm going to let that dry a little bit and then get it off. Sometimes when it's not dry yet, it's hard to do. You're feeling all better? Good, Vesta. I'm glad to hear that. Okay. Okay. Be sure to align it with the top. the right side will hang over about 1/8 of an inch. Okay, I'll get back to that after. Okay, that's the end of number 5. Number 6 says, center and adhere the 7/8 by 4 inch scored cardstock. So we're going to put that right straight across with our usual, about 1/4 of an inch or less of how we have a frame around it. Okay, so do our usual. It's about 1/4. It's about 1/4. Yeah, that's about 1/4. Okay, I'm going to put this on here so it's out of my way. And you can put it either way. You can put the ones going down or the ones going up, whatever you'd like. I like the ones going up, down, because it looks like pages. And you'll see in a minute why I say that. Okay. Like I said, I've seen this card around all over the place and said, I gotta try that one day. And then when I saw it in my blog hop, I'm like, okay, that's it. It must be my omen to say, give it a try. Okay, so that takes care of that. Got sticky fingers. Hi, Maureen. I just noticed. Hi, Maureen. How are you? Okay. Using the 7/8 or 1 inch circle punch, cut a small bit out of that 7/8 section. So I've got a 7/8 one. A 1 inch can work too, because I think that's what Lisa used. So you want to just cut. I'm going to show you on this one. You want to just cut so you've got a little bit of an edge on either side. Okay? So don't go real deep, but go deep enough that you're going to get and try to do it centered. So wiggle this around until you can see where you need to be. So I'm going to go about there, but I want to see where my white ones are. So I'm going to go right about there. Okay. It's a little harder with 2 pieces. And now look what we have. Isn't that adorable? I think it's so cute. Okay. So and if you don't have a whole that size, take a 1/4 or something, turn it over this way, center your 1/4, make a little line around the 1/4, and then cut both of them out if you have to. But I think most everybody has a 1/4 or 1 inch. Okay, so that is the end of number 6. Everybody with me? Now it says round the corner on the 3 by 4 1/8. And I didn't do that on my other one, and then I had a terrible mess at the top there. So it's going to go in here. So we want to round this corner. Just the right-hand side one. Good. Stamp a sentiment or an image on here, or cut out, whatever you'd like. Like I normally don't do that, so I'm just going to put this cute little bug that I fussy cut earlier today. We are in the middle of pollen season. You should see, oh my God, everything is a mess. Our porch is a mess. Our cars are a mess. My husband's a mess. Sneezing. Okay. So that's all I'm adding to mine, because I'm putting a sentiment on the outside. Okay, so I just put him on there. Wipe my fingers. And it says, center and adhere inside the card book. Card/book. I'm going to fix this corner because I don't like the way that looks. See if I can. Not much better. These things are not always dependable. Yep. Gonna have to do. So now this is going to go here. Just got a small border. Okay. It really looks 3D. It does, doesn't it? Yeah. That's why I was noticing people were making them, and I'm like, I wonder how they're making that. And I added this piece. The others don't have that piece, but I, for some reason, wanted that piece to make it look like the edge of the book. Okay. So that's that. Centered it here inside the card/book. Okay. End of 7. Number 8 says, stamp a sentiment on the left edge of the book, making it appear like a book title. So this one I'm going to put Spreading Joy. I already took that out, because that fits nicely in here. See that? Gives me enough space. And it looks like it's a book about spreading joy. So I'm going to use Secret C. And you know, other than the fussy cutting that I did, I really didn't use much of anything of the DSP. So I imagine if you wanted to, you could put DSP on the front, but I think it takes away from the look of the book, unless you have like some leather looking stuff. Or I was thinking that it might be good if we did the cardstock and scrunched it up and then smoothed it back out again. Maybe it would give that look of leather. I don't know. I want to make sure I'm straight. Okay, and I'm going to put this back down on my book so it'll keep it closed for me. And I'm going to try to make sure this is straight. Try to. Okay, one more tap. Try to center it. Yay, I got it straight. Oh my goodness. I love it. There's my cleaner, excuse me. Okay. I do have to say, I love the Secret C, but if you don't clean your stamp off really well, it leaves some residue behind. So I have to be really careful. Okay. So my story is about spreading joy. Put that away. Okay. Everybody with me? This would be adorable with the Pooh DSP coming in May. Yes, it would. I did think about that. Yep. I thought that would make a perfect Perfect, perfect card. Okay, so add your images, ribbon, and sentiments. So I did the fussy cutting on this little piece. I couldn't get in there to get all that out, so I had to leave it. So I'm going to center this left to right. And I decided after all the fussy cutting that I wasn't going to try to raise it up because I'm afraid some of these little pieces will get hooked. So I'm going to just glue it all down. Okay. So, everybody with me? Hers just a little bit different. I think she's called the Queen or something like that. Queen Bee or something. But go on Michelle's Craft Cottage webpage, and the blog hop has, I think, 9 people, and one of them is the girl that is buffering again. Ugh. Very cloudy out there. Oh no. Okay. Where it lands is where I'm going to have to put it. Isn't that cute? We got a little book. Spreading Joy. Isn't that cute? Yep, you'll see a few people do them. Some people do them slightly different than this. Some people do it with the book aligned. Like I said, I added that so you can have the separation between the book and the title. I thought it gave it more of a spine look. But yeah, once you get them all together, it really looks like a 3D book. It's pretty cool. There. Isn't that cute? Okay, add embellishments as desired. And because I don't have a ton of stuff on this, I said, oh, I'm going to add some white embellishments. I think I'll put one over here. Move that over just a little bit. And put one up here. And then maybe a small one down here. What would be really cute is if you took Wink of Stella and did the strawberries. Let me see if I can find my Wink of Stella. Gorgeous card. Thank you, Maureen. See if I can find my Wink of Stella. I'm going to put some Wink of Stella on those strawberries to make them shine. Haven't used this in a while. Okay. Got it on the edge of the card. Dang it. That adds a little sparkle to it, of course. I'm going to be disappointed when this paper goes away. Excuse me. I really am. I think I've said this a couple times. I don't generally buy the cutesy stuff, but this one is just too cute. There. So now it's got some, it's got some shine to it. See if I can get that off. Yeah, I did. Got it off. Okay. So that is our card for this week. I'll show you the horrible one I made as my sample. Like I said, I was trying to make it an Easter card, but then once I once I got this done, I couldn't find anything Eastery. So I went and found the flowers in some of my ephemera. And then I thought, well, it's a book, so I'm going to say this one's for the books. And then I did happy birthday on the inside. But I much prefer this one. I think this is much cuter. So isn't it cute? I hope you try it if you haven't already. And I would love to see your cards. So now we've finished our Fun Fold card. Take a picture of it and post it in the comments. I love to see your cards. Thank you for joining me on mystery card number 91. I'll see you next week on 92, April 6th. I can't believe it's already April. My granddaughter's baby shower is April 19th, so it's coming fast. So join me on April 6th, and be sure to say hello, comment, and or like, and share if you haven't already. Thank you, Vesta. You're welcome, Vesta. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I just thought it was too cute. I couldn't resist it. And of course the little bugs are too cute too. You see those strawberries glistening? Okay, have a wonderful week. I'll see you next week. And thank you so much for coming tonight. Bye-bye. You're welcome. You're welcome.